very good morning to you and welcome back to Life and Style Thursday edition. That is Inspiration Thursday, and I'm super excited today specifically because we saw this guy on books and blogs and we were so excited. That day Twitter was ablaze and he was showcasing his books and talking about his life on books and blogs with Catherine Mwangi. But today he's on Motivate Today. We use his story today to draw inspirations from that and from the books that he's written. What is the inspiration behind that? What can we learn from Mbugua Mumbi's life? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mwikali.
Super glad to have you. I saw you on books and blogs. I'm super excited. And when I was told, Mwikali, you know, your guest is Mbugua Mumbi, I was super excited. And I also remember that you signed this particular book for me in 2015.
Oh my.
In 2015. Then I was on radio and we had a great conversation and I have it to date.
Wow.
So you see, I'm going on and on. This is me being starstruck.
I'm so glad to be reconnected. And what a privilege it is always to be here. This is an amazing program, I can tell you.
Thank you
You're
so
really touching
much.
people's lives through this. Yes.
And it takes people like you to do that.
It really takes the grace of God, and I thank God for that.
Absolutely.
So really glad to be here.
Yeah.
Where do I start, my dear Mwikali?
Motivate is all about drawing inspiration, from your life story and people learning from you and not from, you know, the things that we probably are watching on TV or the things that are going on in the news, but from a real life experience. Maybe we could start from the beginning. Who's Mbugua Mumbi and the transitions that you've gone through in life to become the person that you are now?
Thank you so much, Mwikali. I'm very glad to be here. Like they say, we've really come from far. I have come from very far. Because Mwikali, though today we would say Mbugua Mumbi is a brand, that's not where we started.
True.
I am a former street boy. I was born in a family of 11 children. My mother never went to school. My mother never got married. My mother, Mumbi, was a barmaid. And probably because of her occupation, working in the bar, she got 11 children. 8 daughters, 11. I'm number 5 myself.
Number 5.
11 children, 8 daughters, and 3 sons. We were actually the poorest in our village. There's no other homestead up to today that was poorer than us. And nobody, virtually nobody, I can't remember anybody else except our mother who had hope in us. I can't. Not even the neighbors. In fact, many thought we would end up being either criminals or gangsters or prostitutes. Because my mother was called a prostitute. But she was just getting children and she was not married. But I'm here because that woman called Mumbi, who was very resilient and optimistic, from the very start she told us, what we are going through today does not in any way define our future.
Well, let me give you the line you said on Thursday on a particular Thursday with Catherine Mwangi. Said, "Do not let your past be the yardstick for your future."
Because really it is not.
Yeah.
What you're going through today does not in any way act as a plumb line to the destiny or the tomorrow that you desire.
Absolutely.
But to me, the most important question is, what is the tomorrow that you desire? Our mother told us there is no situation in this world, there is no circumstance in this world that is permanent. What you're going through today is as permanent as you choose to see it and as temporary as you choose to see it. If you decide it is permanent, for sure it will be permanent and it may, spell your death. If you decide to see it as temporary, it will come to pass. Even the great book of the Bible says that. So our mother told us, in future, it is the choices that you make today that will determine your destiny. I can tell you that. We used to sleep hungry. We used to go to school barefoot. I mean, what can I say? I wore my first school uniform in class 5 because we got a new head teacher who said all pupils must come in school uniform. So I was chased home. And I stayed at home for 2 weeks. My mother could not afford my school uniform, which was barely like 30 shillings. She could not afford. I stayed at home for 2 weeks. But I was putting a lot of pressure on my mother. I need to go back to school. I need to go back to school. I loved school. And most importantly, my teacher really loved me. I can say that. So one Monday morning, my mother, probably to the pressure I was putting on her, decides to travel with me. Actually, we walked to Thika town, a distance of almost 17 kilometers. She could not afford the bus fare. And she was going to a bank, if you allow me, I mentioned it, Barclays Bank.
Yes, you did.
Because there was a lady working there as a messenger in the bank, and who was known or a friend to my mother, and my mother was going to plead with her, either to give or lend her 30 shillings for my school uniform. So we entered the bank, and I can tell you this, Mwikali, that environment shifted my mindset, changed my thinking. Because I remember asking my mother, Mom, is this heaven? Because I saw a lot of money. I saw smart people like you, Mwikali.
It was very clean.
I saw an environment I had never seen before. So that new environment stirred my thinking, stirred the water in me. It gave me hope. And my mother told me, well, you might think it is heaven, but this is where rich people come to keep their money for safekeeping. And I remember asking my mother many questions, but there's one particular question I asked my mother, and the answer she gave me, oh my, gave me the impetus to believe more in myself. And that question was, Mom, is it possible for me, when I grow up, when I clear school, to work here?
Yeah.
And my mother, who didn't even have a pair of slippers on her, she was barefoot, told me with a lot of confidence, God does not discriminate. If you choose, you too can work
Here.
faith. Oh my, faith, optimism, hope. Mwikali, look at the power of hope.
Yes.
My mother could easily have told me, shut up. You can't. I will not take you to high school. I will not afford to take you to college or university. You can't work here. This is for specific race or tribe or group of people who have education. She told me, it is your choice. And I want to tell the listeners here, it doesn't matter where you were born. It doesn't matter how you were born. It doesn't matter by whom you were born. Your level of education doesn't matter, and I mean it. You don't need to take an egg to school to learn how to change and become a chicken.
Absolutely.
The potential for the egg to change, transform, and become a chicken is within. The formula that guides, that facilitates the egg to change and gradually become a chicken, the formula is within. And that is what we call the God of the chicken.
Absolutely.
The God of the chicken directs and guides the egg until it changes and becomes a chick.
It's not even on you, the one who's taking care of the chicken.
You don't have to come every day and remind it, excuse me, do you have the wings now?
Yeah.
It knows.
No.
Because it is God. And that is the same way we are created. And I'm not saying education is not important. I don't want to say that. Let me be, people receive me in the right perspective. If education has no dream, it is like a brand new car, maybe Range Rover Sport, wine red in color, but no engine. And that is where we are getting it wrong. Our education must be motivated by a dream and a vision. And that is why you see students going to the university, they did very well in KCSE, but they lose it in colleges.
Yeah.
Because their education or A grade is not attached, And that is why I tell people, education without discipline only makes you a clever devil. My mother told me in class 5, you can become. Mwikali, in class 5, I started dreaming and I said, I will work in the bank.
And yes, you did.
And yes, I did. My first job was a T-boy.
Yeah.
But I believed in myself. I didn't have the education. I didn't. That is why I started as a T-boy. But they saw my commitment. They saw my team play. They saw my diligence. They saw my integrity. I remember one manager saying, this boy, though he does not have the requisite education, he works with his heart and not hands. Whatever you do, I want to tell you, it doesn't matter whether you are a bus conductor, whether you are a cobbler, whether you are roasting maize. It doesn't matter. Can you do that job with your heart?
Yes.
If you cannot be, if I could not be trusted to make tea, if I could not be trusted to clean cups efficiently, how could I be trusted to keep custody of money? If you cannot be trusted on a small job, what you see as a small job,
yes,
how will you be trusted with a bigger job?
It starts the small
Believe
one.
in yourself, the power is within you. And I said last time, do not define yourself by your exterior. People say that a banana is green, but you realize the banana is not what we see.
Yeah.
The banana is what is contained inside.
Absolutely.
You have to peel it. You have to peel it, throw away the peels, and eat what is inside.
Yes.
You see, the objective is, please try to focus inwardly. What lies ahead of us, the best in our lives is still ahead of us. So really, don't allow the circumstances to, to put you into a cage, to put you into a pit that you'll never come out of. The greatest challenge we have in this life is not that you don't have education, or a father, or a mother, or a godfather. The biggest challenge we have in this country is not lack of jobs. It's not.
What is it? What is it, Mbugu?
Probably what the Bible says. It's lack of self-awareness.
Okay.
If you knew the power within you, no organization can contain you. None. When the egg starts to transform from inside and a new being is created, a time comes when the shell cannot contain the change that is developing within.
It has to create room.
It has to create room.
Yes.
And the chick inside, which has been growing gradually, has to take action and break the shell. Because the shell, in spite of the comfort, in spite of the security, in spite of the provisions, the shell, on the 21st day, if the chick does not break the shell, the very comfort it is trying to preserve will kill it.
True.
It could be being in one job for too long.
Yeah.
Same department for too long. Doing the same thing for too long. And you've never thought of what else can I do. So today my message is this. Believe in yourself. And do not allow those circumstances put you into a fix. You see, every human being, there is no situation or circumstance in this world that has power over a human being. It doesn't matter whether it is death or lack of money or sickness. No situation has power over you.
I'm listening to you speak and I want to stand up and do a few jokes around here and then sit back down. So powerful.
Absolutely.
So powerful.
Absolutely. So the greatest challenge you have is that you don't believe in yourself. You have allowed the world to define you.
Yes.
You went to school, the world gave you a D, and you accepted.
And you said Mwikali D.
Yes. And no wonder you tell people, I failed. I got a D. What? You're good? I mean, this chicken egg cannot hatch into a snake.
No.
The chicken egg cannot hatch into a chameleon because its source, its original composition is the chicken egg. We are like where we came from. God is not a D. There's no God who created who is a D. And I know when I tell people, that D was the opinion of the maker. Absolutely. If I look at you, Mwikali, with all due respect, and I even gave you the most expensive t-shirt in this world, or a dress for that matter, but it is written, Mwikali is stupid. Would you wear it?
No.
You wouldn't.
No.
It doesn't matter whether it is made of gold, true or not.
No, you wouldn't.
Why do you allow other people's opinions to determine your own destiny or your own concept of yourself? You need to give you a price tag worth where you want to go.
Absolutely. I hope people are taking notes.
Absolutely.
I hope they are taking notes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because if I went to the bookshop and I saw a book like this, and it is written here, for example, 500 shillings, and I pick the book, and I got to pay at the cashier, and they told me it's 1,000, I would probably think they are thieves, isn't it?
Yes.
Because it is marked 500. You buy a product based on the demonstrated price. So the question is, what price have you put on yourself? Because the world is going to exchange or trade you at the price you have decided for yourself.
You make that decision.
And this price is all about your self-concept. Who do you think you are? Who do you believe you are? Very, very important. And especially in this new era, decide to be different. Because the challenges, I think it is Albert Einstein who said, the challenges we are facing today, the challenges you're facing in your life, those problems can never be addressed or solved by the same level of thinking that created them in the first place. You have to think differently. And this is what we call the paradigm shift. And I can tell you this, I thank God for my mother. Because she told us it is what is inside you. Don't listen to people. Don't look at what they're telling you. Believe in yourself. Very, very important. And that is the message I want to share with people. It's all about, it doesn't matter whether you failed in school. Failing in school is not failing in life. It is not. In fact, they say, if you have read books by Robert Kiyosaki, A students, academic A students, end up working for academic C students. It is true.
Okay.
Those who got A's end up working for those who got C's. And in fact, I can challenge you. Find out the top CEOs even in Kenya, how many of them were A students? And I'm serious. The top business people in this country or in the world, how many of them were A students? And I want my students, my children to perform very well in school. Let me tell you, greatness is about knowing who you are.
Absolutely.
And greatness is all about asking yourself, how do I contribute to the world? Because this life is not about duration. The workplace is not about duration. It's about donation. And you see, we are like an orange tree, for example. Think about an orange tree. God created the orange tree, and the orange tree is endowed with a lot of gifts. You can get oranges, orange juice, you can get firewood, you can get charcoal, conserves the environment, birds can build on it, you can get shade. But even the shade, that shade of the orange tree does not primarily benefit the orange tree. Your own shade, your own shadow does not benefit you. But I can see it, I can stand against you, and I benefit from it. We have gifts within us that are meant to be shared. They have nothing to do with education, tribe, color, creed, historical background, geographical background. They have nothing to do with us. We were created, we were born complete, 100%. When you buy a car, what do you add to the car? Nothing. It's complete. You don't add an engine.
No.
You don't add the wheels.
No.
Even when you buy the car, it has fuel.
Yeah.
Yes, only one thing you need to do, Mwikali. Do you know how to drive the car? Because if you don't know how to drive the car, you could get sick and die in your house. And you have somebody that can help you. We're complete. When you buy a phone, it's complete in itself. Somebody told me you only need to put a SIM card. You only need, in this life, we came to discover ourselves. Because they say, if you are a ship in the ocean, and the captain of the ship does not know which port the ship is going to anchor, no wind can favor that ship. Because the captain doesn't know how to set the sails of it. You're a human being, and you do not know what you want to achieve, who you want to be in this life. Let me tell you, no salary can help you. No business can help you. No marriage can help you. No network can help you until and unless, first and foremost, you answer a very important question. What on earth am I here for? Absolutely. People must appreciate the fact that this world is not about how fast you're running. Because it is better for me to walk like a chameleon in the right direction than sprint like a tiger or a leopard in the wrong direction. So the greatest challenge we have is competition. I want to be like Mwikali. I want to be like so and so. Discover yourself. Mind your field. And one of the things I would want to tell people is, please, it is the learners. A guy called Alvin Toffler said, the learners inherit the world. The learners inherit the world. Learning means continual and never-ending self-development. Self-development, self-learning. The learners inherit the world. However, the educated find themselves beautifully equipped with degrees and papers to deal with a world that no longer exists.
That's funny.
I can tell you this. It's possible for you to be a professor, and I say very humbly, who is ignorant. It's possible for you to be a bishop or a pastor or a motivational speaker or an author who is ignorant. Because the power that you need to change your life is within you. It is really not about education. Very, very important. And the illiterates of today, wapumbavu wa siku hizi, wajinga wa siku hizi, the illiterates of today are not people who cannot read and write, but people who refuse to learn and learn, U-N-L-E-A-R, and learn and relearn. And this life is about learning and learning and relearning.
Keep reinventing.
When I resigned from my job, which was on the 1st of April 2008, my resignation letter read, the subject was not a resignation.
What was it?
My subject was, and I have a copy of that on my my pad. The subject was the road least traveled.
Why so?
Because I was going, in fact, I told my boss, the CEO, I told him, because he asked me, which bank are you going to? I say, I'm not going to another bank. Which company? Not to another company. Are you relocating from Kenya? No. Where are you going? I'm going to discover who I am. Believe you me.
Wow.
Believe you me.
That's
Even
the
my own
road
brothers
that
and
is
sisters.
less traveled?
Yes. Even my brothers and sisters felt pity for me. But I can tell you it's the greatest decision I ever made in my life. What I've been able to achieve over the last 7 years is more probably than I ever achieved in my 12 years of employment. But what has really helped me is reading books, reading a lot of motivational books. That has helped me. And of course, having a mentor and listening to people, very important, readers, what have you. But it's one particular principle that I can highly attribute to who I am.
Okay.
Because it's a principle that I read and I implemented it. I implemented it. I can tell you this, Mwikali. 7 years ago, I didn't have a single degree. 7 years ago, I was not an international motivational speaker. 7 years ago, I was not a business consultant. I run a very big company called Success Signature, where we do corporate training. 7 years ago, I was not a media personality. 7 years ago, I was not a life coach. 7 years ago, I was in debt, serious debts. In fact, Mwikali, 7 years ago, our family house was auctioned after I quit the employment.
Okay.
But 7 years ago, through reading, somebody taught me the power of writing down your dreams. And I started keeping a personal strategic plan. I decided to take charge of my destiny. I decided to become the CEO of the company called Bugwamumbi. I decided to restructure myself, restructure my beliefs, my habits, my behavior, restructure my networks. I decided to reposition myself. I decided to re-engineer myself. I started keeping a roadmap for myself. And I wrote the dreams I wanted to be. If you read here, Mwikali, you will see 7 years ago, I wrote down the kind of car I wanted to drive. Is the car parked outside here? Absolutely. 7 years ago, I said, I want to be free, out of debt, totally. And I can say that today. And I realized it's all about being intentional about who you want to be. You must be intentional. And don't take it for granted. It's not a wishy-washy thing. You have to be committed to it based on the belief and the faith that it is possible. 7 years ago, I said, I want to appear in every media house in Kenya. That has happened. 7 years ago, I said, I want to write motivational books. I'll be launching my 4th next month.
Good.
7 years ago, I said, I want to train companies. We have trained blue chip companies in this country. Currently, even as I arrived here, I was from DTW, where we are doing DTW, doing a culture program. We've done Toyota. We've done many companies. I realize it's not about what people think.
No.
It's about the price you've tagged in your mind. Your mind is the most powerful magnet in the world. It can attract that which you give it. I'll give you a very simple example.
Yes.
If you have, can I use your phone?
Yes,
I'll not
please.
call it. I'll not call it. It has a camera, isn't it?
Yes, it does.
If this phone belongs to me, I have a choice to decide what to do with it.
Yes.
I can choose to take your image, to capture your image.
Yeah.
If I capture your image and I realize it was not well taken, I have a choice to delete it and retake.
Yep.
It is not permanent. I don't have to store an image that I don't like.
Yes.
Such that every time I open it, I see that image, I get demotivated. I can decide forever I'll delete this image and keep on retaking until I have my perfect image. And I have the perfect image. When I have that, now I can store it. And I am happy. And I'm satisfied. And I'm fulfilled. And if I want to hang your image in my house or in my office, I'll need to go to the phone, go to the storage, retrieve what I stored, and produce Mwikali in a poster. Your mind is exactly like a phone, a camera. What you think is what it captures. And as you keep capturing it and thinking and thinking and thinking, it creates a perfect picture, whether wrong or correct, depending on your thoughts. And it is that picture in your mind that eventually You know the way this yolk changes and becomes a chick?
Yes.
Which I may not explain. I don't know. Ask me how it does. I don't know. But I know it happens because I'm a witness.
Yes.
It is the same thing. Ideas in your mind, thoughts in your mind become a reality. They translate into a car, into a house, into a wife, into a husband, into money, believe me, into a job. You know, so if you're thinking you cannot be employed because you don't have education,
Yes.
you'll never get employed.
True that. That is very true.
A few years ago, I never thought I could write a book. I only thought only professors could write books until I started believing. And today people read and tell me, Mbogwa, where did this come from? Maybe I don't know. Inspiration. Inspiration.
Absolutely. And this is Inspirational Thursday. I can't believe time has run out like that. But probably how can people get your books for motivation, get in touch with you, a website perhaps?
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Yes, I am on the net. You can check mbogwamombi.co.ke, www.mbogwamombi.co.ke.
Yes.
Extremely powerful information. You can listen to my video clips, which are very, very powerful. There are very many on YouTube. Just type MMTV, Mbogwa Mombi TV. They are amazing clips that you can keep on watching and listening to. Our website for the company Success Signature is www.successsignature.co.ke, or you can actually get me on Twitter at Mbogwa Mombi. I would really appreciate if you're able to follow me, and then I can follow you back, or call me on 0723 942929. Let me take that again, 0723 942929. Our offices are on Koinange Street in Nairobi, a building called Uni Africa House. Uni Africa House. We are on that floor, suite number 366. It's really such a pleasure being here. Oh my, oh my.
I am so
I have
happy.
refused to die average. I may not be a millionaire, I may not be a billionaire, but I refuse to be, to shrink into a grain of sand. I want to live and become a mountain.
Absolutely.
It's all in the mind.
It's all in the mind. The power is in your hands. Like I said a few Thursdays back, that you have the matchsticks to ignite that fire within you. So it's not, he can say all this all day long, but you have the key. It's all on you. Your mind is it for you. You just take that and run away with it. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I hope you guys learned, because I didn't even get to talk. I was just hearing, oh yes.
Thank you.
So I'm going to do that joke later on, the one that you say some powerful thing and then just run all the way around and then
we can even do it together.
We will do that, definitely. This has been Motivated. Taking a very short commercial break. When we come back, it's Catherine Mwangi on Books and Blogs, and later on, Restaurant of the Week. Let's do that joke.
Oh yes, yes, indeed.
Here we go now.
We can do the joke.
Yes.